Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Rachel. If you're new here, hello and welcome. So today I have done this greeny black smoky eye. I have no idea what I'm going to call this, but it just sort of happened. So if you want to see how I got this look, then please just keep on watching. To begin this look, I am going to use my Plouise makeup base and I'm going to just apply that all over the lid, and I'm also going to sculpt out the brow for this look because I want it to be really structured. I'm going to take a generous amount of that on the back of my hand and just work that into a MAC 221, pretty flat. And I'm just going to really lightly blend out these edges. And I'm just going to do the exact same to the other brow. Now, because I want this look to be pretty dark and smoky, I am going to go in with the Bobbi Brown Gel Liner. And I'm just going to take some of that on just a flat brush. And I'm just going to begin to paint that directly onto my lid, and this will just act as a base for the black shadow, and it just keeps it really black throughout the night. So I'm just going to take that kind of right into the crease. I'm not overly concerned about being neat, but just to create some sort of shape. So now that we've put down that black gel liner, I want to set that now with a black shadow, just so that it is set in place and super dark. So for this, I'm going to go in with the SoSu by Susan Jackson X Keilidhmua, an Urban Bible. So I'm so excited. Oh my god, I can't even open it. So I'm so excited to use this. I have not touched this palette yet, so I'm so excited to see how these shadows perform. So I'm just going to go into the black, which is Sin, and I'm just going to start patting that on. Whoa. Whoa, that is so black. And look how much darker that makes it. This shadow is so nice. Once you've covered your eye with the black shadow and set that in place, I'm just going to take a smaller fluffy brush. This is a MAC 221, an oldie. And I'm just going to go into that black again. And I'm just going to start wiggling that through the crease. Just to create a kind of softer line to work with the next shadow. Okay, so now we have diffused that black line. I'm going to go in with our next shadow, which is going to be the shade Oath. And again, I'm just going to take that on another MAC 221, and then I'm just going to buff 50% on and 50% above that black line. Because I want to keep this really cool tone, because we're going to go over with a really cool shadow, which is going to make it look really cool. And I'm just sort of going over the black on the inner corner, because I don't actually really want that to come out much further. I kind of like that shape that we've created. So just do the same on the other side. So for the last shade that I'm going to go into, I'm going to go into a different palette, and I'm going to go into the Smashbox LA Cover Shot palette. And I just want this kind of really light grey tone. And I'm just going to take that onto another, just a wee small fluffy brush. And this one is going to be the last shade that we use just to diffuse the edges. I feel like there isn't a lighter shade that I'd want to use cool tone in the Keilidhmua palette. So I'm just, again, 50% on, 50% above, and just really, really softly just buff those edges. And this just requires a lot of blending, back and forth, checking your edges. And if you were wanting to do just a black cool tone smoky eye, you could pretty much just finish up there and throw some lashes on, do a lower smoky, and you would be like good to go. But I do want to add a little something to this eye. I don't want it to look like an all over black smoky eye. So I'm going to go in with the shade Chaos, which is this like shift between like green and brown, and it's like a greeny, purpley brown. It's so cool. It's such an unusual shade. But I'm going to start off by taking it on a flat synthetic brush, and I'm just going to pack it onto that brush, and I am going to give it a wee spray with just some primer water, and I'm just going to apply that right over the lid, just all over where we put the black. So it kind of turns into like this greeny, smoky, oh, gorgeousness. So I'm just going to do the exact same to the other side. Then I'm just going to take some of the Lotte London eye foil, and it's basically just like a kind of a dupe for Urban Decay, the heavy metals, the silver one. And I'm actually just going to go into like my inner corner and just kind of pop some glitter on there. And then over the top of that, just to kind of bring back out the green, I'm going to go with the Heavy Metals liner by Urban Decay in Distortion, just to create like a different shift. I feel like this is like a look like a green superhero would wear. Okay, so for the lower lash line, I'm just going to pop a little bit of that Plouise base and just pat some of that in. I'm not being too like overly neat about it. Just get a wee bit of base on and just fluff that out. I'm not like 100% on that glitter, you know. I think I'm just going to go back over with the Shadow Chaos and try and like dull it down a little bit. So for in my waterline, I'm just going to go ahead and put the Smashbox Always On Gel Liner, and I'm just going to line my waterline and just kind of smudge it into my lower lashes. Then to set that gel liner in place, I'm going to go back in with Sin, and I'm just going to take the brush and just press it on. My God. Oh, it looks so scary right now. So I'm just going to go back in with the shade Oath, which is the shade right here. Sorry, I'm like holding the palette upside down, which doesn't help. And I'm just going to blend out those edges. This palette really does blend so easily. I am super impressed. So just always kind of connect it round so you can create that. This is legit like superhero, like I feel like I'm wearing like I feel like an Incredible right now, but like a cute one, right? So now I'm going to go in with the last shade that we used, and that was from the Smashbox palette. So it was the very light grey. You can use any taupey grey colour. And I'm just going to go right over those edges and just make sure that there's no harsh lines underneath. Even though we'll probably be cleaning a lot up with our concealer. For mascara, I'm going to go in with my Nars Climax mascara, which is just always what I use. And I'm just really coating my lashes really thick. And I'm just going to do my lower ones as well. Now I am just going to go in with my lashes, and I'm going to use the Flutter lashes in the style Intoxicating. And these are quite big lashes, which they need to be with this look, and I've just dropped them. Now to get started on the face, because my eyes are looking crazy, I am going to go in with my Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. I'm just going to take a small amount of that and just really work this into the skin. This primer is so good for filling pores. If you have pore problems like myself, honestly, it is unbelievable. For foundation, I'm going to go in with the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Wear Foundation in the shade 410, which I believe is Ivory. Yes, Ivory. So I think this foundation really applies nicely. I would say it's definitely more a medium coverage. It's not so much a full coverage. And this is a little bit dry on my skin, so I'm just going to spray a clean beauty blender with the Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist. So I'm just going to give my little beauty blender a spray and just kind of work in a little bit. I might actually just spray my skin and just kind of work that in a little bit more. Just so it looks a little bit more kind of healthy rather than cakey. Yes, more healthy for this one. For concealer, I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer in the shade Light Sand. I'm just going to take this beauty blender again and just press that in. And I am working with a dry beauty blender because I cannot be bothered walking to the bathroom to wet it, quite honestly. And it's actually working pretty well. Okay, so with this concealer, you do need to work fast. Okay, so again, I'm just going to spray with the Luminous Dewy Skin Mist by Tatcha and just work that in. For powder, I'm going to go in with the Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder in the shade Fair. And I'm just going to actually take that dry beauty blender and just press that into my skin. And I'm not baking with this product, I'm literally just pressing it right into my skin. I'm not letting it sit. And that is a pretty nice powder. I think something is definitely a little bit more drying on my skin this time. I don't know if my skin is just a bit dry at the minute, to be honest. I think it might be, but there's definitely something is very dry. I think it might be the foundation, to be honest. Okay, for bronzer, I have a brand new bronzer, which I am very excited about. It just came today and it is the Fenty Beauty Bronzer, and I got the shade Private Island. I wanted something that I could possibly use fair and tanned, so it's pretty dark for me right now, but I'm going to go in with it. I'm going to give it a try because you just never know, and I do like to bronze up. So I'm just going to take kind of a small amount of that to start with, just because we don't know how it works at the minute. Might spread far. Okay, so that is warming up my face, I think, quite nicely. It maybe is just a touch too dark, but I don't really care. I do like bronzer. I like to have sort of a more kind of overall bronzy look rather than pale. I do think this will be better when I've got a tan, however. I actually do think this whole makeup look would look better with a tan, but I just didn't have time. So I do think that actually that looks pretty nice. It is probably a little bit too dark. I've really had to blend it out, but this was the third lightest shade, so there are 2 shades darker than this one, and I think there's maybe like there's 2 shades lighter than this one. I think there's maybe 5 shades darker than this one as well. So it does pretty much cater to a broad spectrum, because I am super pale and that's quite nice. I'm feeling this. For blusher, there's so nothing new here. It is the Wet n Wild colour Icon, and it is in the shade Keep It Peachy. I should really just skip this stage because you're probably all bored of this by now. That literally just keeps me peachy, guys. Now for highlighter, I am going to go in with the Maybelline Face Studio Chrome Extreme in the shade Diamond Glow. So it's pretty face. It's really, really nice. I'm also just going to take that onto my inner corners. Really try and brighten them up. For brows today, I am just going to go in with the Benefit Gimme Brow in the shade 3 because my brows have recently been hennaed and are still looking pretty good. For lips, I'm going to keep this pretty nude and I'm going to go in with MAC Cork. And for lipstick today, I'm going to go in with Bite Beauty and I'm going to go in with the shade Blondie. To set my face, I'm going to go in with the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. I'm just going to do a wee quick spray. So guys, this is the final look. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel before you go, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!